shin splints, an ACL tear, tennis elbow, a pulled hamstring, a concussion. If you play sports, you've either suffered from one of these injuries or you know someone who has. It's part of the game, right? You tough it out. You play through it. You don't complain. Because after all, it can be treated, and you'll be back in the game in no time. But what about what happens to you mentally? You know, when you can't finish the season, what goes through your head? What do you think about when the game means everything to you and you can't play it? Meet Jarrett Jones, class of 2019 power forward for the McEachern Indians and Northwestern commit. He's 6'9", 232 pounds of pure muscle. He's strong, he's powerful, he's athletic, but add courageous to that list. Because today, Jarrett Jones sits down with SUV TV and the Georgia Hoop Circle in this Beyond the Bench presentation to discuss mental health and overcoming adversity. This is his story.
All right, so we're here with Jarrett Jones, the new Northwestern commit. First, want to congratulate you on that commitment.
Thank you.
And we're also here with Jamal Powers. He's the owner and operator here at Total Fitness. And we are here on behalf of SUV and also on behalf of Beyond the Bench Foundation. It's a foundation that's been geared to work with student athletes. And a lot of what we're going to go into today is the mental health aspect of athletics. I think it's very important that as we all work with our youth in the community, we go definitely beyond the bench, beyond the court, beyond the playing field, and try to make sure that we help develop young people all the way around. So we do know 2017, you were playing Pebblebrook. You all were in the playoff run. You guys had a great team that year. And I think you all were playing Duluth when you got injured. I think you injured your left knee. And just kind of take us through that moment. Take us through that game, preparing for that game, and then the injury.
Well, at first, me and Colin and Drew, we were all going over plays. Well, interchanging dudes, so interchanging Mervin and DJ. We were all feeling pretty good, so we got in the game. And Duluth they had a lot of energy coming into the game. So they were doing a lot of junk talking before the game and warm-ups and stuff. So it fueled us up, so we were ready. Cause every game in that season we were ready, no matter what. So we got in the game, everybody was going off, Colin was going off, I was going off, everybody was we were all just one, a well-oiled machine. And then it was the third quarter. And I remember Drew threw a pass. I'm talking about everybody, we're killing Duluth at this point. And then Drew threw a pass, and then the dude tipped it. So, 10th grade, I was real defensive. I was on the boards, blocking shots, getting dunks, all that. So I'm running back because the dude tipped it and got the ball and he dribbling down. I go to block it. When I went up to block it, my knee gave out. I didn't really feel it didn't really hurt. But then, when I tried to get up, I tried to walk. That's when I couldn't walk and it hurt. I tried to walk and hit the ground immediately. So then, he took me back to the bench. And, I watched the rest of the game. We won. And then I heard we played Norcross next. So I was like, oh yeah, I gotta get my knee back right. Cause I didn't think anything of it. I just thought it was a minor thing that could be fixed within a week or two. So we went to the doctor and got an MRI. They said I tore something in my knee. At that moment, it was kind of it was real silent. Everything blacked out. It felt like no one was around me. I just felt like it was over, of sorts. But it was an emotional experience for me. Because I was really on the rise. The injury, kind of bumped me back.
So when you say brought you back, physically, I'm sure you were in some pain. and then probably feeling like I've torn a ligament, that's one thing.
Yeah.
But when mentally describe when you say brought me back, I guess how it felt after you put in all of that work and after you had a really good sophomore year.
Right.
And really were doing pretty good in that particular ball game on both ends of the floor.
So at first, you know, I figured out I had a torn ligament. Everything went silent for a second. Then, like, it didn't really hit me. Like, I'm thinking, like, all right, well, it's just a torn ligament. Like, I'm good. And then, you know, I found myself, like, when I was by myself in my room, you know, like, I just started thinking about it, getting real deep into it. And, you know, like, I've always been the dude, like, I'm happy for my teammates, and I love seeing my teammates prosper, but it was hard watching them, you know, doing their thing on the court, and, like, I want to be out there with them so bad, I want to help them so bad, but I can't because of the situation. But it was, like, it was real hard for me to, you know, watch them because I love the game so much, and to watch them and not be able to play it, it really ate away at me from the inside, you know. Like, to the point where it was like, you know, I started reading books. Like, I read like 3 books while I was injured, and they were all on energy, and, you know, my mom put me on the books. It was about energy and God and how God helps you through trials and tribulations and stuff. You know, it really helped me through that.
Well, I would say that's a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's a good thing because it allowed you to probably connect, you know, even more with God and then just kind of assess your total situation. Okay, so that season finished. So there was no AAU for you that year.
Just I traveled with AOT and watched everyone play and just, you know, support it. That's what I really could do.
And I'm sure that had to be tough too because you've been pretty good on that circuit ever since you stepped in high school basketball.
Right.
So that had to be a big adjustment also.
Mm-hmm.
So where did Jamal come into the picture?
Well, you know, when I was working out with Jamal, you know, it was a group thing. So Pebble, Coach George Washington, you know, brought us here as a group, and, you know, it was really a team building thing too. So we came here and we would work out, and it would be like, we would get some real good work in. So it was like, you know, like that's when I first met him. I was like, you know, I really want to work with this dude by myself, because it's like I could really. When I was in 10th grade, 9th coming to 10th grade, you know, I had a little baby fat. You know, I was athletic, but it was like I could be more athletic because, you know, I was out of shape, and, you know, I could really become a better looking athlete. So I was like, you know, I feel like this is the dude to do it. Me and Wash talked to Jamal, and Jamal was like, yeah, we could work out.
So y'all take us through the rehab process.
So initially, when the injury took place, I spoke with his dad a little bit, tried to get a little more detail on what the injury was about. Because here at Total Fitness Revolution with TFR Elite, we want to focus holistically on the athlete. Mm-hmm. So we want to look at him from one side to the next. We don't want to ever just throw him into fire, just both legs, both arms. I mean, because it's kind of hard to unmask some of the deficiencies that may be taking place. Mm-hmm. You know, so if the rehab isn't going well, or if the knee isn't setting like it should, and, you know, it just depends on what those muscle groups are doing around it. So we want to make sure that we approach it from a very slow and strategic method. So we did a lot of unilateral training. So basically we took one half of his body, put him on one leg, made him jump off of it, lift weights off of it, you know, bounce off of it, do anything that we could possibly think of on that one side, and we duplicate that same energy for the other side. Mm-hmm. And ultimately what the goal was is that we take, you know, the two halves, mesh them together, and then we have a more balanced athlete.
Obviously, you're very passionate about the work that you put in. What was it about Jared that made you kind of connect with him and take it to the next level?
Like I said, Jared's a special kid, man. It was a blessing that Pebblebrook came through these doors and I was able to meet him. From the moment I met him, I liked him. You know, you kind of got to warm up to certain people and certain kids, that kind of thing, to figure out if they're really serious about what we do and what it's going to take for them to be better. With Jared, there was never a question. He came in ready to work. Our motto here is that you get what you work for. So if you're putting in the work and you're putting in the effort and you're always, like, he's easily coachable. It's one of those things where it was an instant connection. A lot of times I didn't even have to hit him up to see if he wanted to come train. He would hit me up early morning like, Coach, I'll be there, let's get to it. And he comes in ready when he's not forgetting his shoes or some sort of workout equipment that he needs. But for the most part, man, he's just been a pleasure to work with, man. And like, because of how far he can go with this and the opportunities that have been presented to him, I always just want to make sure I'm the best that I can be for him. You know what I'm saying? I want to make sure that everything that we do here is a reflection of what you see on the court with Jared.
How much personal responsibility did you take to make sure that Jared got over some of the mental and the physical issues that he was going through?
A lot of it, man. He and his dad, and myself and his dad, we talked a lot about Jared because, you know, after the injury happened, of course I wanted to know what was going on, like where is he? He hadn't been in here in a while. He hadn't been working out with me, like what is up with him? And every now and again I get a text from Jared like, yo, Coach, it's tough, you know, like I'm ready to get back to it. And you know, for me it was more of I took it on as a project for myself to not only be a student of the training, but to try and meet Jared where he was from a mental aspect. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of one of those things where you see him struggling, and you know, if you know him, you know that he wants to play basketball. That's his thing. That's what he loves to do. And I want to help him get there, but I don't want to make it seem like that's all I'm here for. Right. You know, because I look at him like a little brother, man. He's like he said, we're family. Like, it's one of those things where, like, no matter what time of day it is, where he is, like, I'm there. And that's how I look at Jared. And you know, a lot of my kids that come through here, like, I take on a certain mentor role because I play basketball at a very high level. I've played basketball for a number of years, and I understand the mental toll it takes on you as well as the physical toll. So I just want to make sure that I'm just a added resource.
You know, he really helped me through the situation, because it was like, you know, I was really down. Like, when I say down, I mean, like, you think like, all right, this is the end, you know. And I wasn't giving up, but it was like, it's so hard to come back. It was just like, and I was feeling like, am I gonna be able to put in the work? Like, I had a lot of doubts, but at the same time, you know, it was like, Jamal really helped me with the motivational piece, you know. And like, based off of that, like, the time we had to work out together, he became like a mentor to me. He became like family to me, because it was like, it was really hard. Like, it was people out there helping me, but not as much as he was helping me. You know, it was like, you know how somebody can work you out, but it was like off the court, you know, off the turf. He was really like talking to me, helping me out, like, and we gonna get back, like, cause there's no way but up, cause you know, like economics, you hit a trough, there's no way but to expand from the trough. So that's what we were gonna do, and that's what we did.
And working with Jared, man, it's like one of those things where I love what I do. It's easy. Like, it's one of the jobs that, you know, if I had to bucket list it and check off, like, what would be my most enjoyable thing, is working with athletes. You know, helping these kids try and reach their goals and, you know, push past their boundaries, that kind of thing. But when you get a good kid, like a really good kid, it makes my job great. And Jared's one of the great stories of basketball, of success, of just triumph, man, adversity, overcoming it. So I'm just happy to be a part of it.
Did you lose your motivation in other areas outside of sports?
No, it really helped me focus on other areas, because it was like, I really found myself really like basketball in school, and maybe a little bit of social activity outside of that. But, you know, it really helped me focus on school and really like studying, getting my study habits together. It really helped me build relationships with people. So like, you know, gaining friends and learning how to talk to people, because it was like, I wasn't really doing anything else. So I would just talk to people and read and, like, you know, figure out how I can be positive, even though like I'm in a negative like situation or in something negative. So if something negative is going on around me, you know, it's really hard for the negative energy to infiltrate, because I'm always like outputting positive energy. So I'm like, if something negative going on, I'm just be like, you know what, it's okay, and you're gonna get better. Like, because I mean, once you start, negative energy is draining. Like, it drains you. And that's what I found myself doing a lot, was being down a lot. And it was like, you know, all right, it's time to be positive, you know, because if I'm positive, it's gonna help my energy. It's gonna help me with a lot. So I just started being positive a lot more.
I think what you're saying is crucial for young athletes to first just be able to identify with what they're going through. And then second, to understand that, you know, you got to find somebody to connect to help bring you through what you're going through. And, you know, it's not the end of the world, right? Going through all this, I know your father is very supportive. Talk to us about the role he played in continuing to help you come through the situation.
Well, you know, he's at home with me all the time. When he's not working, he's at home with me for the most part. So he's like, you know, he saw a lot of the, you know, the negative energy, and it was more like a tough love thing at that point. Because at first, you know, he knew I was a little soft after surgery, so he wasn't really pushing. But my dad, he played football, you know, he's a tough dude, so like we weren't gonna be in this little downfall for a long time. Like, you know, I would get in spots where I wouldn't want to do something and be like, bro, you gotta do it like right now. It'll be to that point where we'll argue, but I mean, it was, you know, it was necessary, because at that point it was like, you know, he's been there and he knows. So, you know, I had to submit at some point and let him show me how to come back through it. So that was one way I really got better too, was just being receptive to feedback and really, like, you know, taking in, despite the message, taking in what I need to take in so that I can become better. So.
What kind of advice would you give any of your other peers that might be going through the same thing that you went through?
To take your time. Just when you get injured, like, basketball is still gonna be there. I mean, it depends on when you get injured, but at the same time, what I'm saying is, don't ever rush your injury back, because you risk getting re-injured. You risk putting yourself back in that emotional pit, you know, like, just take your time, get it all the way back, right? Get it all the way back where you want it to be, where you're mentally confident in your knee or ankle or whatever it may be, shoulder, or you're mentally confident and you're physically, like, you know, all right, I'm ready. And then when you start in practice and start practicing before you just jump into a game and go balls to the wall, because you don't want to get hurt again. I'm telling you, it's the worst thing. So that's the advice I would give.
So Jamal, I know you work with a lot of athletes.
Right.
How often do you see guys come in, go through some of the same things that Jared would do?
Jared was a special case, only because of the severity of the injury. So, you know, a lot of kids or a lot of athletes that are coming to me, they've either been on the mend for a while and are trying to get their feet back up under them, like trying to get their legs, or some of them are just here to prevent injury. And so that's my biggest thing, is like, I want to get to you before these issues arise, right? So if we take care of our bodies and prepare our minds and our bodies the way we're supposed to for a season, then in all likelihood, we're reducing the chances of our injury. So that's basically what I'm here for.
So I know you watch a lot of NBA, and I know you probably had a chance to see Kevin Love and DeRozan come out and talk about some of the mental health issues that the guys in the NBA face. What did you feel when you seen those guys come out and address some of those issues?
Man, you know, I feel like it was true, because it's like, you can be a professional athlete, you can be an amateur athlete, you could be a rec athlete, you could be like anything, any type of athlete, but like when you get injured, it's really like, it takes a toll on you. Like, you really have to be able to have that mental toughness. It's all about mental toughness, right? No matter what situation you're in, whether you're in a situation where you're in college and you're not getting the playing time you want, be mentally tough. Go get in the gym more, work out, like, because you can't blame the coach. Like, what I'm saying is, you can't blame anybody for what you got going on. It's about you, so you can never be a victim in a situation. You always have to be a creator and create the best situation for yourself. So you create the best situation for yourself. It's self-made, so it's like, like nobody can break it unless they just like out for you, unless they, you know, it's hard. It's really hard to break something that you created unless you're not working your hardest to keep it that way. So,
well, tell me this: you made the decision, you made your commitment.
Yeah.
I know you took a big breath of relief. It's over with.
Yeah.
So, tell me how the process was.
Recruiting process?
Yes.
Man. It was tough, you know. It was a lot of conversation and a lot of heartbreak, so to speak. It was like, you know, I would talk to a lot of coaches, and there was a lot of schools, you know, that I'm really like honored to be able to be recruited by them, you know. But at the same time, you know, I had to pick the best situation for me. You know, me to be happy to play with them, me to be happy to be coached by the coach that I'm under, you know. You know, academics, you know, that's important, you know, because the ball's not gonna bounce forever. You know, it's gonna bounce. If you're fortunate, it's gonna bounce for a long time, but not forever though. So you always have to have that backup. You always have to have that, you know, that second source. So, you know, that's what I was looking for in the school. And when I went to Northwestern, you know, that's what I felt like the fit was for. Like the fit, that was the fit for me. It was like, it met every requirement on my list.
Okay. So, you know, along with what we do at Beyond the Bench, one of our other focuses is exactly what you said. You have to have a next step when it's open. You gotta have, like you said, you might have a long career. You might play football, basketball, baseball, but one of these days the ball will stop bouncing. And we encourage kids to be ready. Right now, start getting ready. So when you step on the campus at Northwestern, what do you think you're gonna major in?
Well, going through my surgery and rehab process and stuff, and I really want to get into psychiatry, because, you know, either psychiatry or holistic medicine, because I really want to help people, you know, whether it be a basketball player or somebody that just wants to get back on their feet, because even not being an athlete, you can get injured and it'll be harder for you to come back, because, you know, you weren't ever like in the shape, you know, that an athlete would have to hold themselves to. So, you know, it really just helping people come back physically and mentally, you know, just being able to be like, all right, you're gonna come back, it's gonna be good, you know, really help them, because I've been through it, so I would know. So, you know, just learning the medical terms, you know, associated with it, so that I can really become an expert on it. That's what I want to major in.
So when you were going through this whole deal, was it any resources that you kind of leaned on or kind of researched or looked into to try to help you from the mental aspect to kind of get yourself back moving in the right direction?
There was a dude named Marcus. He works for PT Solutions, and I was with him a lot at Pebblebrook. And then Dr. Matt Graves. Dr. Matt Graves, he works a lot with nerves and, you know, aligning the body. So, you know, it was really like, he can move your body around the right way, and then you'll get on the court and feel like a whole different person. Like, it's really important. Like, and this is stretching too. This isn't even like acupuncture or anything special. This is just stretching. Like stretching and realigning your hips and realigning your neck and just everything. You know, so those are really the two main sources, you know, that I really look to. So
shout out to Dr. Graves. You know, you do a lot of work around this metro area, man. So we appreciate everything you're doing for these young athletes and everybody else in this community. So, man, I want to tell you we appreciate your time. We're glad you're back 100%.
Sure.
We're excited. Congratulations on all the hard work, the commitment, the whole 9 yards. We look forward to seeing you step out this year and take the kids to the state title. And Jamal, man, we really appreciate you inviting us out.
Thank you.
To your facility. Anything you want to tell the rest of the people that might be watching about what you guys do here?
We are a one-stop shop. Total Fitness Revolution specializes in personal training, in small group classes, anything you can think of that is fitness related, we do it here. But our biggest crown that we wear here is that we work sports specific training. We love the kids. We love each and every kid that comes in here with a dream or goal of being recruited by Northwestern or, you know, making it to the NBA or wherever it is. We want to make sure they're getting the best of what we have to offer here. So stop by, see us, come check us out. Follow me on Instagram at Always Training. Follow the gym at Total Fitness Rev. That's pretty much it. Yeah.
Thank you for coming out, spending some time with us today. Like I said, we wish you the best moving forward, and we most definitely want to thank you, Jamal, for having us here in your facility. And if you're trying to get in shape, trying to rehab an injury, whatever you're trying to do to become a better athlete, better pull up, come see him, make it happen.
Absolutely.